Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Evan. It's my buddy Clint, the amazing Clint. We are here at Waybacks to do a weekly showcase video. This week we're going to do Defender.
Nice.
I brought Clint for Defender because I suck at Defender. Everybody sucks at Defender, but I like really suck at Defender.
I thought it was just because I'm old and I played it back in the day.
Right? You were there when it debuted. I love Defender. I love the sounds. I like the layout. It's such a weird layout. You got to break your fingers pretty much to play the game. Back when the first time I saw it, it was Atari 2600. Me and my brothers used to play it, and it was crazy cool. It was probably the first game I remember we were talking about earlier with the mini map, where you basically need the mini map.
Oh, it's hard to play without it.
But that was pretty much Williams' first attempt at an arcade game. So before that, they did a Pong knockoff. And then Space Invaders and Pac-Man were making so much money, Williams said, let's make a good arcade game. And so you want to talk a little bit about that?
Man, Defender is one of those games. I could pretty much tell you where I played most of the games that I like. Most of the games in my collection are games that I played back in the day, loved. But Defender was everywhere. It was like Pac-Man. You couldn't go anywhere without seeing a Defender. And I think 20 to 30 seconds was as long as we'd last. And a quarter back then, that was a big deal. But it was the sounds. The control panel was daunting. I mean, I didn't even know that there was a smart bomb until years later, because you're just trying to fly around and fire, just like asteroids. But man, people would go nuts for them. It's one of those games that back in the day, from my experience, was just like Pac-Man, where you'd have to get in line to play.
Yeah, and speaking of controls, they're so jacked up and wonky, but that is really the only way you can play Defender. It doesn't really work any other way. Like if you did it on a MAME or something, you're going to be totally lost. And then you were talking about Pac-Man. Defender actually tied with Pac-Man for the highest grossing arcade game of all time. As of, I think the last number I found was 2022. They had both made over $1 billion in quarters, which is crazy. Insane. But yeah, Williams, of course, was a pinball company, and Defender was made by pinball guys, Eugene Jarvis and Steve Ritchie. And it's just one of those scratch your head, rub your belly, curse at the moon kind of games. So we're gonna go out on the floor. I'll let Clint take over gameplay on this video.
I hope I can do good today.
If I did it, it would be like 15 seconds at best. But you got anything else you want to mention about Defender?
The only thing about Defender I don't like, I want to just throw that out there for everyone, is the artwork. They could have done so much more, because when you look at Williams' Joust, even Robotron it's not stellar, but it just has a really cool modern look. Defender was kind of, I don't know, it just looks like it was thrown together. That's the only problem I have with Defender.
Yeah, I think you were telling me earlier that they were scared George Lucas was going to sue them over the artwork, so maybe that was a last-minute change to not incur the wrath of the wars.
Yeah, originally it had TIE fighters and X-Wing on it. And I don't know how...
You mean like Gorf?
Yeah, how did Gorf get away with it,
Yeah, the Star Destroyer and the X-Wing on Gorf. So let's go out to the floor, give it a play, and take a look at the cabinet.
Sounds good.
All right, guys, so if you want to play some Defender, then you got to go to the Williams row. Our beautiful Williams row, Sinistar, Bubbles, Joust, Robotron, Moon Patrol, and today's Star Defender. So one thing we didn't mention that I just found out a couple days ago when I was doing my research, Defender is actually the prequel to Robotron. So in Williams' official genealogy, you have Defender, then Stargate, which unfortunately we don't have Stargate, but then Robotron, and then Blaster. But nobody cares about Blaster. No. Blaster was horrible. So there's the horrible artwork Clint was talking about. Now, when I got this cabinet, God, 10, 12 years ago, I bought it from a local operator, and it was actually a racing game. And he had mounted a friggin' steering wheel right on here that took over half the screen. It's pretty horrible. So this was one of my early conversions, and I had actually stenciled out and painted the sides. So that's not vinyl, that's actual paint. And that's why it's not perfect. But it came out all right.
Yeah.
Now, I do dig the marquee. This marquee actually came off of the very first game I bought from Clint, which was a
Smash
TV cab that he had a Defender marquee on. And I remember it was this one because it had a piece of tape on the back that I pulled off. So apparently that's from the very first game I ever bought. Of course, the chrome coin door, can't beat it.
No.
But anyway, let's turn it over to Clint and see how good he can do on some Defender.
We'll see, because I'm not a great player, but I like it.
You got the cocktail at home, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, I just recently got that. I've always wanted one. It's sweet, a nice setup, and I like how everything glows on the control panel.
Yeah, I've seen the cocktails over the years, but I didn't know until you got yours that there were so many stinking lights on the control panel.
Yeah.
Like everything lights up, all the letters, the logos, the arrows on the joystick. Like, it's insane.
I've got several cocktails, but I've got to hand it to Williams. They did a great job with theirs.
I think the only that's probably my favorite cocktail design, followed closely by Joust. Like, it would really depend on the day of the week which one I like better. But.
All right, so don't forget, you got your thrust fire, smart bomb, hyperspace, and reverse. One of the things about hyperspace they kind of stole from Atari is it has a randomness to it. So if you hit hyperspace, sometimes you'll just die, just like on asteroids. So I kind of stay away from this. It's one of the buttons I don't play, but that's just me.
Yeah, I heard you use that as a last resort. If you're about to die anyway, what can it hurt?
Yeah, if they destroy your planet, which where they picked up all the astronauts, the planet's destroyed, then sometimes you have to, just to get away from the mutants. Well, we'll see what we can do.
I love the sounds on this game. The one thing I wish they would have incorporated was a 4-way joystick.
That would be
instead
awesome.
of the reverse button, but it kind of adds to it. You know, it's all about making quarters back then. Way back, you don't have to pay quarters. You just play it as much as you want. They had actually cloned
not good.
asteroids, and they had cloned Space Invaders to make the idea of Defender. They basically took Space Invaders and laid it on its side. They discovered that kind of sucked. And then they just went to the right like asteroids, and they discovered that kind of sucked. So Steve Ritchie's idea was, let's go left, right, and have a landscape. And so that kind of really brought it home.
Man, having a bad game.
Now, one game that I loved like this was a Chopper Command on 2600. It had the little mini map. Basically the same gameplay, same concept, saving the hostages. Of course, you get your bonus points for capturing the astronauts and bringing them back safe. And one thing about the astronauts, if you lose them, don't they come back like really pissed off and trying to kill you?
Oh yeah, and they're hard to kill. One of the best things to do though is to hit your reverse and then turn back around real quick. That helps. But yeah, this was not a good game. That's another thing is when you're playing Defender, if you get used to a certain cabinet and the way their buttons feel or the joystick, it doesn't translate very well. But that's pretty much Defender. If you saw, I use a lot of reverse. That's just me. I do have another little Williams thing. what drives me crazy these days is all these guys on YouTube saying Robotron 2084. I'm 52 years old. Nobody called it Robotron 2084 back in the day. It was just Robotron. In fact, I didn't even know it had 2084 until people started saying something.
Yeah, when I started collecting, it was always Robotron. It was Robotron when I played back when I was younger. But the 2084, I thought it was actually 2004.
Right.
You know, the funky font on it. But yeah.
If I could say one thing about Waybacks, all their Williams games, this is it. These are my favorites right here. They're all in a row. Love these games.
Yeah, I'm a little OCD with all my game positioning. You know, got the Williams row, the Nintendo row, Midway row, Classic row, Fighting row. I get a little crazy with it, you know, but that's kind of what I want to see when I go to an arcade is if I'm looking for Area 51, I shouldn't really be looking next to Pac-Man to find it. Is
Good point. Just remember this, guys. I just saw the attract screen came on. 1980. 1980. I've been playing this game since 1980, and I still suck. And it's kind of like Donkey Kong. It's what always keeps bringing us back.
Well, the trade show in 1980, everybody said this game sucked. There's no way it was going to make money. But then they put it out in the arcades, and it's just making a killing. So this goes to show you critics don't know everything.
That's true.
So come out to Waybacks, give it a shot. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll catch you on the next one.